Today I'm going to pose a hypothetical battle between two small and fairly popular ships from Star Wars. The Acclamator assault ship and the Gladiator class Star Destroyer. Before we jump in, I'll give a short snippet of history about each vessel. And, side note, all the information and stats I give are from Legends. The Acclamator was designed by Rathana Heavy Industries a decade or so before the Clone Wars, and stood at a length of 752 meters, which is about 2,500 feet. Almost completely crewed by clones, and used as the Republic's most effective army transport ship. First seeing action at the Battle of Geonosis, and, after the battle, seeing their success, the Republic ordered the construction of 1,000 more Acclamator ships. They also served as mobile depots for resources and command bases, and designed to assault contested systems, break hostile orbital blockades, and land troops directly onto the battlefield, be it ground or sea, as seen here. It became a staging ground for the development of the Victory-class Star Destroyers, and as a result, every other Star Destroyer for the rest of galactic history. During the Empire's era, Acclamators served as transports for enslaved populations and as overall cargo ships, as well as being used in planetary defense skirmishes and defense from pirate raids. Interestingly, they were used by Admiral Natasi Dalla all the way till 44 years after the Battle of Yavin. Now, onto the Gladiators History. Designed by the genius Walix Blissix during the Clone Wars as an escort for the formidable Victory Star Destroyers seen at the end of the war. Kuat Drive Yards picked up the design at some point during the rise of the Empire and promoted them as long-range patrol ships, being able to operate independent of a fleet and project power on backwater worlds, where larger ships such as Star Destroyers would be seen as overkill. The ship, at 600 meters long, or over 1,900 feet, saw more frequent use with the growing rebellion as an escort and defending key hyperspace routes and starbases with great efficiency. Now let's get into the debate, which would win in a fight. So, to do this, I will split up the categories of the stats of each respective vessel, and it will go as follows. Round 1, Weapons. Round 2, Defense. Round 3, Speed. And Round 4, Fighter Complement. So, let's discuss the guns on each of these ships. The Acclamator packed 12 quad turbolaser turrets, 24 point defense laser cannons, 4 heavy missile launchers, each with 100 proton torpedoes and 20 concussion missiles. And it's also noted that groups of Acclamators were capable of performing base Delta Zero on planets. Now for the Gladiators' weapons. They were armed with 12 dual turbolaser turrets, 10 point defense cannons, 10 missile launchers, each armed with 300 medium concussion missiles, and 8 tractor beam projectors, a device the Acclamator did not have at all. For round 1, Weapons, I'm going to have to give it to the Gladiator, simply because it had a few extra missile launchers which, believe me, could turn the tide of a battle. Round 2, Defense. The Acclamator's hull was laced with ultra-dispersive neutronium, an extremely dense material based on durasteel that could withstand massive energy blasts. Volleys of separatist fusion rockets are noted to barely make a scratch on the ship's hull. Although, granted, this is only a quote, and we have no stats on what a fusion rocket even is. Acclamators had shields, but sadly I can find no feats or stats on them. Now, the Gladiator. And, well, I'll be honest, I couldn't find any stats on its defenses, but the ship did indeed have shields. So, there's that. For this round, I will call it a tie since we don't have enough information. Round 3, Speed. The Acclamator and Gladiator had 2 large, main, powerful engines. Acclamators had a max acceleration of 3,500 Gs, whatever that means. I guess it's fast. And a max speed in atmosphere of 1,200 kilometers per hour. The Acclamator's main caveat, however, is the ship's hyperdrive rating of 0.6, which is extremely impressive, especially for a ship this size. Hell, the Millennium Falcon had a rating of 0.5. Just saying. The Gladiator had a Class 1 hyperdrive, which is slower. But the Gladiator, as you guessed it, has no stats on its sublight speed. Nothing. What a shame. So, let's call it a tie. The last round is the fighter complement, and don't worry, it's not a tie. Not even close. The Acclamator could hold 80 LAT gunships. Bear in mind, the LAT is pretty large when compared to standard starfighters, so for every 1 LAT, I'd equate it to 1.5 of a starfighter. So with some quick math, that means the Acclamator could hold, say, 120 starfighters of standard size. But to make the battle more fair, we will lower it down to a conservative 80 starfighters. The Gladiator could hold 24 starfighters and some shuttles. That's it. You would think with this big obnoxious hangar right here, they could hold more, but nope. And, as stated earlier, the Acclamator has a whole 14 more point defense cannons on the ship that could be useful in taking down starfighters and other small craft from the Gladiator. Like I said, it's not close. Round 4 goes to the Acclamator. So here's the end results. Round 1, Weapons. Winner, Gladiator. Round 2, Defense. Tie. Round 3, Speed. Tie. Round 4, Fighter Complement. Acclamator. So finally, let's imagine an actual battle scenario. Both ships will be commanded by equally competent crew and have unlimited ammunition and power for their respective reactors. One Acclamator races out of hyperspace into an empty void of space and is met with one lone Gladiator, just chillin', patrolling the galaxy and whatnot. The ships meet 50 kilometers away. The Acclamator immediately deploys its entire fighter complement to soften up the Gladiator, which does defend itself well with its own fighters and point defense cannons. The Acclamator quickly closes in and unloads its quad turbolaser turrets on the Gladiator. The Gladiator unleashes its massive arsenal of missiles on the Acclamator, with a fair number reaching their target and avoiding the Acclamator's own point defense network, causing some damage to the ship. The ships duke it out for several minutes, both noticeably damaged, but eventually, Gladiator takes too much of a beating and is knocked offline. The Acclamator sends out its legions of troopers from the ship to board the Gladiator and sabotage it. Bear in mind, a legion is typically several thousand troopers strong, and the Acclamator could hold a maximum of 16,000 passengers. Likely being successful, as the Gladiator had only a crew of over 1,000 and held only 2 battalions of stormtroopers, which equates to around 1,200 troopers. I think it's clear who the winner is here, the Acclamator class assault ship. I think if maybe it was one Acclamator versus 2 Gladiators, then it would be a more fair fight, and I'd actually lean towards the duo winning it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this requested video. I plan on doing more videos like versus battles in the future. May the Force be with you.